Singapore prides itself on being the perfect host. There's no shortage of places to wine and dine, and Boat Quay is just one of the spots that attracts tourists and locals alike. And for the first time, the Lion City is welcoming players from the European and Davidoff tours in a co-sanctioned event. The Caltex Singapore Masters is being staged out at the Singapore Island Country Club, the Bukit course, set up beautifully for the players, spectators and corporate guests alike. The golf has been red hot. Filipino star Frankie Minoza shot a course record 61 on day 2, but yesterday he had to wait until the 10th before he recorded his first birdie of the day. He had nevertheless retained his overnight lead. Vijay Singh, world's number 5 and winner last week in Kuala Lumpur, had been dogging his tracks all day. He made a significant move on the par 5 13th, chipping in for an eagle. Unheralded Englishman Warren Bennett was staying close to the chasing pack, helped by a birdie here on 11. Bennett finished with a 65 for a share of 3rd place. That was 3rd with the burly Swede Michael Lundberg. Lundberg made a significant move up the leaderboard with a 64. But the rain that had threatened for 3 consecutive days finally came in the middle of the afternoon. A typical tropical downpour that resulted in a delay of just over 2 hours in play. With the light quickly fading, the players did their best to finish the day. Colin Montgomery obviously has good night vision, reading the line here on 17. Monty finished with a 6 under, 65 and 5th place. Frankie Minoza said he wasn't fazed by the delay. He'd rather sit in the clubhouse than be hit by lightning, which seemed fair enough, although he was to lose his lead during the resumption. A missed putt on 17, a missed fairway on 18, followed by a miscalculation of yardage on his approach, saw him eventually drop a shot. And it led to a 2-shot swing. Vijay Singh could see well enough to manage a birdie on the last to claim the lead going into the final round. So Vijay leads by 1 over Frankie Minoza. Montgomery is only 3 shots back and well in with a chance. Pride Mark Seng and Ling Ken Chi are the most likely of the Asian regulars to make a charge if Frankie Minoza lets it slip. Final round coverage of the Caltex Singapore Masters coming up.
Well, more people than ever have come to the golf today, to the final round of the Caltex Singapore Masters, and everybody hoping for no rain. Let's just check up what's been happening already, and those who were expecting a quick rush from Colin Montgomery, starting the day 3 off the lead, were rather disappointed because Colin Montgomery dropped shots at the first 2 holes. He did birdie the 5th, and here he is at the 6th. Somewhat better for Colin Montgomery, who hasn't putted all that well this week. Also going well from Denmark, Anders Hansen. This for his 4th birdie in a row at 9. 3-3-3-3 he'd gone to get to 16 under par, Anders Hansen. But not such a good day for Frankie Manosa. He dropped a shot early on at the 2nd. He dropped one at 5, and that was another par putt which slid past the hole at 6. 37 to the turn, 15 under par. And what of Padraig Harrington from Ireland? This is second to the 8th. Harrington had gone away to a fast start with a birdie, but then a string of pars. He would make that putt to birdie the 8th. And also birdied the 9th hole to get to 16 under. Vijay Singh missing his par putt there, having gone to 20 under par with 2 early birdies, missing his par at 7, and then giving all those chasing him a bit of encouragement by missing again for par at 8. At the 11th, Martin Lefebvre from Holland, the 26-year-old. This moving him to 26 under. He'd been out in 33 and birdied 10 and 11 to get to 17 under par. And although Vijay Singh had just missed a couple of pars, this approach shot at 9 helping him to get to 19 under. Excellent shot. He would pop that one in. So he's on 19 under par. Meanwhile, Colin Montgomery, who'd gone through the turn in 35, level par, rolled this one in for a birdie at 10 to get to 16 under. 16 under for Montgomery, but not the leading European. Martin Lefebvre here for a birdie at 14, popping it in and moving to 17 under. Here's Vijay Singh. We're joining the live action now. He's putting for his par at 12. And just a reminder of the leaderboard, Singh on 19 under par. He's currently leading by 2 from Hansen and Lefebvre, Dane and a Dutchman. Padraig Harrington's with Montgomery, and Mikael Lundberg on 16 under. So we have 5 European Tour players chasing Vijay Singh at the top of the leaderboard, Warren.
And it's all starting to get a little bit exciting on the final day, but it usually does as we head towards the back 9. And a long while Vijay without dropping a shot, and that's why now and again the putter has saved him, but he did make those couple of early bogeys today just before the turn to bring the pack a little nearer. Excellent save on that very tough par 3, 223 yards long. Always good to get 3 there.
Well, there you are, very international. A Swede, a Scot, an Irishman, a Dutchman and a Dane filling the spots from 2nd to 6th, but Vijay Singh in the lead.
In some respects it's easier, isn't it? You get into a flow then, you know what you're doing. Uh-oh. What's the shot? Too good.
his 30th, is that right? Double check that. Double check. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Malaysia was 20 plus the 9, 29. She's had 29 up to now. It'll be 30th. Sunshine today, and it's Vijay Singh from Fiji, winner last week in Malaysia, who's leading here by 2 as he steps onto the tee at the par 5 13th. It's been a good hole for him this week.
Been a wonderful hole, 574 yards long. He's made a couple of eagles, holing twice from off the greens, once with a 30-yard pitch and the other time yesterday with a long putt from just off the fringe. And he hit his tee shot almost in the same spot yesterday, so from there he can certainly get home. Placing on the fairways today, you saw that ball land very softly. So much overnight, well, late rain yesterday that fairways were flooded and the ball's just picking up a little bit of mud. So the officials, as they did last week in Malaysia, allowing the players to mark, wipe and clean the golf ball. Once it's on the fairway, that is, through the green.
Warren Bennett, who dropped a shot at the 12th, has birdied this 13th hole to move to 16 under par. This is Pride Mark Seng, who's putting at the present moment and popping that one in rather efficiently. That moves him to 15 under par. He makes a birdie, but the chances of Colin Montgomery making a birdie are less likely. He missed the green and was down. If you're watching an earlier broadcast from Singapore, down where we saw Padraig Harrington one day, and he has failed with his birdie putt. This for par. He gets his par, but that definitely a hole where he would have been looking to make a birdie. And you know, if you're not going to make birdies at these kind of holes, which are reachable in 2 for him, the chances of catching Vijay Singh are certainly reduced.
Well, that's right, and the same problem really for Anders Hansen, the man who's in a tie for second place. The reachable par 5 15th. That was a beautiful curling putt. There wouldn't have taken much more to go in for his birdie. The flag on 49 paces on that green, so an excellent chance, but not to make 4 there is almost like a shot dropped, because Vijay certainly has the power and the accuracy to reach all of the 3 par 5s on this 9. So tough for the players, with Vijay having that little bit of a cushion.
Anders Hansen with his par there, staying at 17 under. But look at the run of birdie threes. He had 5 birdie threes in 6 holes from the 6th to get to 17 under. So he's enjoying his day despite the fact that he didn't manage to birdie that hole. He's playing with Gary Orr, who's on 11 under par, and Jeev Milka Singh, who's on 9 under par. Now, Warren, you could argue that Vijay Singh is certainly, in terms of world golf, an international player.
Certainly is an international player. He's won in 15 countries around the world. He's won, 3 times in Malaysia, 7 times in the continent of Africa, Sweden, Italy, Spain, Germany, France, England, Taiwan and Korea. Not one here in Singapore, not one down in Australia, but of course add that to his 9 wins in America, and he's heading for his 30th tour win of his career, so he'll be pretty relaxed out there, certainly coming off that good form of last week.
Yes, remember in the playoff, the 3rd hole of the playoff, to beat the man who's lying currently joint 4th there, Padraig Harrington, up at Kuala Lumpur. His wife is Malaysian, and he spent a lot of time just across from Singapore in Malaysia. Singapore used to be a state of Malaysia at one stage, but only for a couple of years, and then it became independent again. But he's used to these kind of conditions. He's used to the grass on the on the golf course. We've spoken about it this week, the cow grass, which takes some getting used to.
He doesn't look too stressed, does he?
Looks very happy indeed, chasing that first prize of $141,000. Ball in the air is the ball of Frankie Minoza, who had hopes of winning this week, but not to be, as he finds the bunker beside the green at 13, but as you can see, easily reachable in 2.
Always hard following the 61, which he produced in the second round, the lowest ever on the Asian Tour. Perhaps just suffering a little because of it.
Such a smooth swinger, and he's been working so hard in the close season, hasn't he, Vijay Singh? Hasn't been taking a holiday.
Does he ever take a holiday? Oh, now has he hooked it? If he's hooked it, there's trees away left and bushes. We've seen Harrington in there, and that's fortunate. I hope no one was injured. It seemed to land fairly softly in the crowd, and it may just have pitched in between a couple of bodies sitting down there. But that will be a lucky break.
Lefebvre. This is his second to the next to the par 5s on the back nine, the 15th. Oh, what a lie. Ball was above his feet there. Scooting it along the ground. Well, not one that he'll want to write home about, but it's up by the green.
Lefebvre and Hansen, I suppose, in uncharted waters at the moment. Neither of them have finished better than 5th in a European Tour event. And as best he's done is 6th. He's done that twice. Last time was in the Greg Norman Holden International, so maybe just feeling a little jumpy now.
And that is certainly not the place to be there at 16. It's a dog leg down the hill and then over a gully. And, well, I think he's dead in there.
I suppose left may be a little better than right. The trees are a little thicker down that right-hand side. We saw Harrington over there one of the earlier rounds, and it's hard to get a ball onto the green, but it's quite a wide fairway, that at 16. So maybe the rhythm of Anders Hansen just being affected a little bit quick there with that last tee shot.
As we watch Lefebvre about to play his third shot here at the 15th. Can I remind you that later on this morning at 9 o'clock on the Golf Channel, our continuing coverage of the final round of the ANZ Tour Championship from the Concord Golf Club in Australia. Quite a battle for the top 3 places on the money list. So many players playing well. Peter Lonard's up there, Nick O'Hearn's up there, Alan Badley was doing well, Scott Garner, one of the young players, going well as well. Excellent action expected from the Concord Golf Club, so you can check in on that final round of the final event of the season on the ANZ Tour Championship from Sydney at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Meanwhile, we'll go back to the 14th. That's the tall, lanky figure of Warren Bennett, who shot a very fine 65 yesterday to get himself into contention. Started the day 16 under, just a couple back, and he's remained there. Went out in 35 with a birdie and a bogey, and a birdie and a bogey coming home. So just put on the brakes a little since yesterday, but he has won on the European Tour, won a couple of years ago, the Scottish PGA Championship at Glen Eagles, and then had all sorts of problems, back problems and pneumonia, which kept him out the game last year.
Lefebvre's third at 15. Just about 100 yards or so to the pin, and he didn't get it up on that upper level where the pin is cut today, so he's missed his chance of a birdie, I would think.
Yeah, that green 55 yards long and the flag on 49, so a lot of dead ground just be short of the hole.
Carl Montgomery putting for a birdie at 14, but it's staying above ground. Came from 5 back last week to win the Ericsson Masters, and only 3 back starting today, but I don't think he's going to be as fortunate this week as he was last week when most of his rivals didn't putt well.
Here's a man that's done very well since the start of the year. Michael Lundberg, been a pro for 6 years now, but hasn't done too much over the last few years, but he did finish 4th on the Challenge Tour last season, which earned his card onto the tour this year, and he finished 5th in South Africa, and now in the lofty heights of playing in the last match with this man here, VJ, and acquitting himself quite nicely.
Well, had there been no crowds and no gallery with VJ, it well might have been that that ball would have finished in the trees. It might have come up just short of the trees, but one way or another, the crowd have helped him there, and this is his third to a hole which he's already eagled twice this week.
Very nearly another pitch in, wasn't it? I almost thought that sounded a little bit chunky, but I think it's off this wet grass. There's some patches out on the golf course which are very muddy. Not surprising with all the rain that they had yesterday afternoon, and sometimes the impact can sound a little odd.
I told you that Anders Hansen was in an awkward position off the tee at 16. This is just how awkward it is. He's going to come up the hill or across the little valley, and the green is on the other side of the valley, so I might well drop a shot here.
441 yards, doesn't play as long as that. Flag today cut over on the right hand side, and he's hit trees in front of him, I think.
Tough to see. There is some applause, but it may be coming from another green. I think if you were right, Warren, that will have rolled down to the bottom of the hole. We saw Colin Montgomery missing his birdie putt at 14. It ran on a bit, and so he's now got this for par. If he misses this one, I think he's lost his chance of winning. But he doesn't miss it. Still there.
Pretty much all new clubs in the bag for Monty this season, apart from the 3-wood. That putter he put in the bag at the final round last week in Australia.
This is Harrington. Third shot for Harrington at the 15th. A useful time to chip in.
Caroline was telling me a nice story. That's Rodrigue's wife. Yesterday, he didn't think he was really going to get back out on the golf course, and he took his contact lenses out. So when he played the last 4 holes, he forgot to put them back in. And he has them specially for playing when it gets a little bit dark, so he can actually see the ball. And as it got dark last night, he didn't have them on, but it didn't stop him from finishing in good style.
Should make a birdie all right and move to 17 under, but remember Vijay Singh has the chance of a birdie at 13 to move to 20 under par. This is the easiest hole on the golf course, this 15th. 495 yards, but there have been 16 eagles, there have been 215 birdies, and the hole is playing under 4.5, 4.46 to be exact. So if you don't make a birdie here, you really are losing a shot to the field.
When they played here last time in the early 90s, they had this hole as a par 4, and the tee slightly forward. But this year I think it's an advantage to the players, I think mentally, to have it as a 5, just 5 yards under 500 yards and all the way uphill. And Lefebvre can hit this one pretty firmly, coming up that long sloping tier. That's what all these young guys have got to learn once they get into contention, to play their normal game, not be put off by the fact that they're just a few shots away from the lead.
Well, that's where Hansen finished after his second shot from the trees, down at the bottom of the hill and in the rough. And he still hasn't got it up the hill in 3, so looking to take 5 or maybe even 6 here at the shortest dogleg par 4. Disappointment for Hansen here. He's currently lying joint second with Martin Lefebvre at 17 under, but not for long.
Holmberg we saw come up short of this 13th with his 3rd, and he's also struggling for a par on the par 5. So a lot of VJ's challenges beginning to melt in the heat.
Lundberg in danger of taking 6 here at the Bukit course of the Singapore Island Country Club. A lot of members out here today to watch the golf. Lefebvre for his par at 15 is next. And keep in mind that he birdied 9, 10 and 11 and has just birdied 14. So if he's going to keep the momentum going, he really needs to hold this. He doesn't want to drop a shot at this stage. Hasn't in fact dropped a shot on the round today. Started at 12 under, 5 under for the day, 17 under at the present moment. We were saying earlier in one of the telecasts that he sold shares in himself at one stage in order to finance himself on tour.
7,500 shares and raised a lot of money, and he's starting to put it to good use. That's a good saving putt, but only for a par.
Still 17 under keeps him in second spot. But the man they've all got to beat this afternoon is in fact Vijay Singh. Lundberg missed his putt. You may remember he came up short, so he's taken 6 and slipped back to 15 under. But Vijay Singh for a birdie. 20 under par now, Vijay Singh. He's got 5 holes to play, and he's 3 shots clear of his nearest rivals. Looking good for Vijay Singh to score back-to-back victories. Not the first time he's done that, but on 20 under par, leading by 3 from Hansen and from Lefebvre. Hansen's going to drop out of second place in just a moment or two. Colin Montgomery up there at 16 under. Further on down the list, Tom Gillis is having a good week here. 12 under par, currently joint 13th with Yang Yong-yoon and Ling Ken Chi, who was the #1 on the Asian circuit the very first year of the new Asian PGA Tour, the now Davidoff Tour. Further on down the list, Andrew Coulthard there at 10 under. Anthony Wall losing ground at 10 under. Ignacio Garrido and Costantino Rocca just outside the top 20 as well. But it's a day when knowledge of the golf course and an ability to cope with the heat and the humidity is certainly proving an advantage. Certainly an advantage to the man who's leading here, the Fijian, the Masters champion, Vijay Singh. Is he going to Dubai next week, Vijay?
Don't think he is he? Be an invitee, wouldn't he?
Are not difficult enough for Vijay Singh to lose them.
No. Well, he's got to finish birdie, birdie, birdie.
And even then,
Your man can finish par in.
one birdie in the last. So
Well, 15 or 18 in the birdie. And
yeah, you need an eagle. Well, I'm going to get 18 under.
birdie, birdie, eagle by Harrington might make it interesting. But I don't think I'll do that.
Well, for some of the guests of Lucent Technology, it's better to stay in the clubhouse rather than go out on the course in the sunshine. They'll know that Vijay Singh will finally come round to them at the 18th. But here he is with an excellent tee shot at the 14th, setting up another birdie chance. And the more this afternoon goes on, Warren, it looks very much like a Singh victory. This is Hansen, however.
Well, he's done well. That was hard work. Very heavy weather of the 16th. He made that all from a poor tee shot down the left-hand side. But I suppose to come out with a bogey, limit the damage to 1 is good.
I can tell you that Broderick Harrington has birdied the 15th to get to 17 under. So Harrington and Lefebvre are on 17 under, 3 behind Vijay Singh. That's the ball of Lefebvre at 16.
That's a good tee shot from Martin. Beautifully positioned down the left half of the fairway. Could be a little bit of a procession, I think, for VJ. Not only because he has the cushion of 3 shots, but he's got 2 par 5s, which really, with the weaponry he has in the bag, they're almost like par 4s. So very strong position for the Fijian, but you never know what's going to happen in this game.
Mikael Lundberg back on 15 under after his drop shot at 13.
He's already won $44,000, 48, nearly 49,000 euro. I suppose the main thing for Lundberg will be to try and keep up there today, make enough money in the bag to earn his card for next year, take a lot of those worries away so he can come out and play the rest of the season a little bit more relaxed, a little less tense about the fact that he knows that he's going to be there for the next season. That will be important for him.
They're looking to make about, what, $120,000, something like that, to keep the cards?
Well, that's the starting off point, you would think, and you know, once they have that in the bag, and if they can get it on early in the season, of course, then when they go into the bigger money events, they've got a chance to not worry about having to make a big check. They can just concentrate on their own game. So for a new lad coming in, this week will be important for Lundberg to hang in there if he can.
There's more golf coming up at 1:30 today. The inaugural Myrtle Beach Open from South Carolina. For the first time ever during official tour competition, the Golf Channel will take you inside the ropes by miking the players. They mic'd Jamie Nair over the first 2 rounds. He just made the halfway cut. He wasn't mic'd on the 3rd day, and he shot a record 63 to climb to within 4 shots of the lead. Eamon Brady from Ireland and Aaron Barber from Orlando, Florida share the lead at 7 under par, entering the final round of play. Derek Gillespie of Oshawa is the top Canadian with a 3-day total of 212, 6 strokes back. As we watch the action here on 14. Minoza missing out there. So that's 1:30 for the Myrtle Beach Open, the Canadian Tour on the Golf Channel. 9 o'clock this morning for the Australasian Tour on the Golf Channel. As you're watching the Asian European Tour on the Golf Channel from Singapore. Dunderberg for a birdie at 14. Always annoying, but he'll get his par and stay at 15 under. Just a couple of birdies on the card so far for him today, Lundberg, and they came early in the round. Of course, next week the European Tour will be on its own at Dubai for the Desert Classic, and well, we've got Tiger Woods coming there to play the Desert Classic. Lee Westwood, Colin Montgomery.
Yes, all the big stars will be there, but for Anders Hansen, he needs to bounce back pretty quickly after that drop shot on the last. See if he can make a long putt there for a 2 on 17.
This for 21 under. And this for a 4-shot advantage over the field.
He was lacking that one. Don't think he's really trying to play for the clubhouse at the moment. That one just a little bit quicker, perhaps, coming down the green. We saw how much Montgomery's ball raced past the hole, so that one just a little bit on the quicker side. Not overly quick here, you'd have to say. They're only about 9.5 or 10 on the stimp.
The European record winning under par score is 27 under par by Jerry Anderson at Cron-sur-Sierre one year, so we're not going to get any record under par victory from Vijay Singh this week.
A little bit surprising in a way. I thought with the way that Singh started 64, 63 that he would carry on and shoot something pretty low, but just the 68 on the card yesterday, 3 under. And that really taking, I suppose, the records out of the equation.
Singh 20 under, leads by 3 from Harrington and Lefebvre. Hansen and Minoza with Montgomery and Bennett are 4 behind at the Caltex Singapore Masters.
Yeah. That's been the first one.
Well, problems here for Roderick Harrington. He was just addressing his ball at the 16th. Just watch the ball here. He's addressed the ball and it's moved as he had the club ready to hit.
No question that that's going to be a penalty. I think they're going to be chatting. He may not be exactly aware of how much he's moved. He knows something's happened, but I'm pretty sure in his own mind that he's already given himself a shot, so he'll now be playing 3. Desperately unlucky for Harrington, but if it seems to going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to Padraig.
John Grant's the referee down there.
Once he puts the club on the ground, of course, he's deemed to have addressed it, so if the club was in any way above the ground, he might get away with it, but I think he was just demonstrating there that the club hit the earth. That's a pretty large target to hit, so no problem.
John Grant apparently asking for a second opinion here, but from the evidence we see here, and of course it's never conclusive in the sense that we're watching on television, we're not actually there, but on the evidence we saw, it would seem quite clear that there has been a shot penalty incurred.
About 200%, I would think.
Hansen.
Ooh.
Oh dear, right on the lip again.
It's amazing. I always thought it was the luck of the Irish, but I don't think Padraig's had too much luck in the last 12 months. He's had that awful problem at the Benton and Hedges when had a 5-shot lead going into the last round, didn't sign the card, and then got found out it was disqualified. Now he's had the ball move on him. So bad luck for the Irishman.
I think what they're trying to determine is whether he had addressed the ball properly before the ball moved. It would seem to me that he certainly had, but well, only Harrington knows.
Well, he stood over it such a long time. He had 2 or 3 looks at the hole, and it was obviously homing in on the flagstick, so no question about this. Look, there he is looking at the target a couple of times. The club is firmly on the ground, and there it moves. So no question. I mean, that's not oscillated. It's a definite movement. It's not sort of just wavered on its spot and stayed there.
And he was almost on the point of hitting the ball, really, wasn't he? Taking the club back.
I think he just wants to try and I think he knows in his heart of hearts that there is a penalty. He's almost just trying to console himself, and he knows if he'd have had a birdie eagle finish, he might have put some pressure on VJ, but really I think now the referee there should just say, look chaps, get on and play. There's nothing they can do about it. It's a penalty.
Well, we'll wait for just the definitive decision there. Let's join Colin Montgomery at 15. Missed the fairway off the tee at this second last of the par 5s and scuttling through the back and into one of those bunkers. So you'll need to hold the bunk. Oh, it's come back out again, would you believe? Well, maybe it would have been better in the bunker. Well, the referee can only give decisions on the information that the player gives him.
Yeah, but I think, Renton, what is amazing here, or I find amazing, that he addressed the ball moved, he then moved away in absolute disgust, not disgust with himself. Despair. So he knows that something's happened. He knows that he's grounded the ball. I just think he
grounded the club.
Grounded the club behind the ball. He just wants the actual confirmation, but it's almost a way of settling himself down. But he shouldn't hold up play, and he certainly is going to be holding up play at a situation like this. I think they should really just get on with it. Am I being a little tough there?
Well, no, you're only doing, as a former player yourself, you've seen the situation. Keep in mind that John Grant hasn't had the advantage of seeing the television picture that we saw. And it may well be that back in the clubhouse, David Garland is in fact looking at the pictures that we've been seeing here on the Golf Channel. Well, if Harrington had if Harrington admits he did it and there is a penalty, I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't know what they need another opinion for. He's already admitted that the ball moved when he'd addressed it, which all seems a bit peculiar. Well, the referee there giving him the advantage of his wisdom.
I don't think that he was replacing the ball there. I think that's a one-shot penalty, but of course, as they're allowed to place the ball back on the fairway, well, they've been given a placing rule, clean wipe and place. He may have remarked his ball.
Just adding to the confusion, really. But this is his third shot now. That's 16.
It'd be lovely to see him make a birdie, really, with this shot. Add the penalty shot and come out with a par, really. Well, he's got some hard work to do there.
Meanwhile, Anders Hansen has reached the 18th. Hansen, who is currently 16 under. Oh, well, that was fortunate.
Knocked it down the left-hand side. Not easy from there to get a clear view of the green. Trees will impede his second shot towards the hole.
Good shot by Lefebvre. So Lefebvre has a birdie chance. Didn't play before Harrington because both balls were very close together. So he has the birdie chance to get to 18 under. Harrington is putting for par. That's the way it is. But the chasing pack will require Vijay Singh to hit a couple of slack shots or miss a couple of putts if they're going to beat the Fijian, and I don't think that's going to happen. He had to play extra holes to win in Malaysia at Kuala Lumpur last week, but it looks to me at this stage, one never knows in golf of course, but it looks to me at this stage as if Vijay Singh is going to add the Singapore Masters to his list of tournament victories, which, Warren, are quite considerable.
Yes, he's had 9 European Tour wins. It'll be his 10th European Tour win and his 30th around the world.
welcome back. Podrick Harrington with a penalty shot added is now playing 4 here at the 16th, so this is for par.
I suppose he was quite lucky that they had the placing rule today in force. His ball just rolling and nestling down in the grass after he moved it once it had addressed it, so it would have been very awkward to have played and got any spin on the ball. It's from a little hole, so at least he could replace it onto a decent lie.
Yes, without penalty under the preferred lie rule. It's in operation after all the rain we had yesterday and more rain during the night. Of course, it's very wet.
Big putt though. And that's unlucky. A big putt because he's going to lose a lot of momentum and heart from that, I think. Just not really the stuffing out of you at the end of the round there.
Colin Montgomery was in the bunker through the green here at 15. He splashed out to here, so he's putting for a birdie to get to 17 under. Oh, well holed. He was just through the bunker, if you remember. I think I said he came out of the bunker, but if you remember, he just went through the bunker, so he chipped back to Warren just reminding me that the ball scuttled through the sand and then just finished on the grass beyond the bunker. But a good birdie at the end of the day for Montgomery, 17 under par and a share of second place.
Almost a happy, smiling, sticky Monty.
We haven't seen a great deal of Hong Chia Yu, who's putting here for his par at 16. He just has taken 6 at the 15th, the par 5, having had 3 birdies just after the turn.
Hasn't played too well in the other co-sanctioned European Tour events this season, the Johnny Walker and the Malaysian last week, but he made the cut in both of them, finished 60th and 61st, so this is a much better performance by Hong.
66, 71, 65 for him so far this week. Warren Bennett is putting for a birdie at the 15th. This to go 17 under par and join Colin Montgomery and others, and well holed. So although Vijay Singh has a 3-shot advantage, there are 4 players sharing second spot: Montgomery, Bennett, Harrington and Lefebvre.
Excellent talent, that man Warren Bennett, winner of the Challenge Tour a few years ago. Good to see him coming back to his best after what must have been a terrible year for him.
Yes, and the former winner of the silver medal as leading amateur in the Open Championship at Turnberry the year that Nick Price won. This is for a birdie. This for 18 under. Oh! Well, well, well.
That was a really good try.
That really did work hard to stay out, didn't it?
Not bad putting under pressure. Do you remember in that Dutch Open when he had his best finish, he held a marvellous putt across the last green for an eagle in front of his home crowd. Did a little jig almost as it was going in towards the hole, and why not?
I think one of his best weeks. This is Anders Hansen, second to the 18th. He's at 16 under, looking for perhaps an eagle to get to 18 under.
Got to give this quite a bit of hook to try and get it onto the green. Trees really do impede his way. Oh, he's gone through them. Well, now that is a lucky break. They say trees are 90% air, and I think he proved the fact. No wonder he's smiling.
Well done. Clay Devers from America had a 65 today. He's in the clubhouse on 14 under par. Andrew Pitts a 66 for 13 under. Tom Gillis a 67 for 12 under. One of the leading American players here this week in Singapore. They'll be moving on next week to Dubai for the Desert Classic. Vijay Singh leads by 3. 5 to play and very much in the driving seat. Just time before the break to remind you that we will be at Dubai next week with Ken Brown joining Warren Humphreys and myself. The ball of Vijay Singh, you may just have caught a glimpse of it there. Vijay Singh walking up to the green at the 15th has just hit an exquisite little pitch which should earn him a birdie, move him to 21 under par. A long way up the green. There's the ball, and that's her close. This was the shot that he played.
Surprised he wasn't on the green in 2, but just hear the sound of this. May not have got it there, but just sounded a little again on that sort of wet side, showing you how soggy the fairways are. Big deep divot, but got plenty of spin, and whenever he's been in a little bit of trouble, short game has really saved Vijay Singh this week.
Harrington at 17. How he would love a hole-in-one after that shot penalty, but not to be.
It's the ball of Martin Lefebvre that's already on the green there. So both players on 17 a little long. But this is Anders Hansen on 18, trying to finish up with a birdie if he can. And he may well get it after that shot. Just a little bit of work still left to do.
Let's have a look at the alphabeticals. Perhaps your favourite coming up somewhere along the way. Checker, Alexander Checker, 6 under. But as they go through along the bottom, we'll join Frankie Minosa at 15. No, I must assume now. Well, it is his third shot. That's why it was surprising that Vijay Singh wasn't up on the green. Pulled up rather quickly. Minosa currently at 1 over for the day, 16 under for the tournament, and indeed on our first page of our leaderboard, the first 20, only Lin Ken Chi, Mikael Lundberg and Frankie Minosa are over par on today's round. Looks a lot brighter today, and they put on the first tee a bit of chili and an onion on a stick, which is one way of trying to keep the rain away. And we say that the onion and the chili yesterday failed miserably. I must say I didn't go down and look and see whether they had the onion and the chili there today, but I think we're going to get away with it today, and I think we're going to get finished on time.
Do you think they changed vegetables?
Perhaps trying a cauliflower and a carrot.
Important little putt here for Manosa to try and get back to level par for the day. Straight push. And looking as if the world's on his shoulders at the moment, but that's how he looked when he shot the 61, so no change in his general demeanour.
Yes, he's a record breaker this week because that 61 is the low round on the Asian PGA Tour. This is Harrington at 17 for 2.
Allowing for a lot of break here down the slope, now beginning to turn. Maybe just allowed a little bit too much for the grain from right to left and down there on the 17th. Grain not anywhere near as strong as Malaysia last week. Different type of grass, this Serangoon grass on the greens, much softer.
And it's going to be different again next week in Dubai, isn't it?
It's excellent course in Dubai. They're moving away from the creek where it's been for the last few years, back to the Emirates. Much bigger course.
Well, one year Ernie Els shot 61.
That's right. Was that not the first year? That was also the year that Colin Montgomery, when he won, hit those 2 wonderful drivers onto the home hole. The driver off the fairway, I think, was really high up there as one of the shots of the year. In fact, it was the shot of the year.
The shot of the year. Yes, well.
Just saved myself in time there, didn't I?
Not a favour.
No laughing matter this coming down the slope.
Didn't really learn a great deal from Harrington, although that moved rather more than Harrington's putt, which was from almost the same area. Can he finish with a birdie, Anders Hansen? He's got to hold this to do so. This for 65. Well done. Very good week for Anders Hansen. 69, 64, 69, and today 65. A couple of drop shots in that 65, and he finishes on 17 under. He leads in the clubhouse at the present moment.
And Anders currently tied for second place, and remember that if it should stay that way would be a personal best for him. He's never done better than 6th, so just outlining what a good week it's been for him.
Singh is 3 shots clear of the field at the present moment. Now he's 4 ahead. 21 under par for Vijay Singh. 3 holes to play, and he's 4 shots clear.
A victory stroll, is it?
Yeah, engrave the trophy. He won't make a mistake. So Singh from Fiji at 21 under par, leading the way. Hansen at 17 under, but Lefebvre can birdie 18 as well and get to 18 under. Colin Montgomery still has birdie chances, and so too does Warren Bennett. The race for second place, perhaps more intense now than the race for first. Gary Orr's in the clubhouse at 11 under par. Nystrom, Rocker, Coles, Gerald Rosales, whose sister plays on the LPGA Tour, Jennifer, all on 11 under par. And Ignacio Garrido and Jeev Milka Singh among the group on 10 under. We're at the 16th green with Pride Mark Singh. He's currently 15 under, 1 under for the day. I can tell you that Vijay Singh has driven here at this dogleg hole and missed the fairway. He's in the trees. Well, he appeared to be in the trees anyway. Down the hill all the way, but still a bit of work to do for Mark Singh to save his par. Only had 3 birdies. It's been a great week for Warren Bennett, and it's good to see. Recently, his wife had a baby
Boy, young Tom, who he was just able to see being born as he raced back from South Africa. He was about to tee it up in the first round of the South African Open at East London, and the next minute he wasn't there. He was winging his way back to home in England.
Yes, and this wasn't originally on his schedule. He wasn't planning to come to Singapore. I bet he's glad he did.
Excellent decision. After he won that Scottish PGA Championship, he got, as I mentioned earlier, a pretty bad dose of pneumonia, and then it seemed to affect his back and neck. So he missed the whole of last season. And it's never easy when you're watching all your mates out on tour play and you can't get out there and perform. And he's starting off the early season in pretty good fettle.
At the tee at 18, Martin Lefebvre.
Almost want to aim it at the bunker down the right hand side of the fairway if you can, because it does open up the second shot to the green. That's on the fairway, but it's left, and that's going to be a very difficult second shot to try and get on the green in 2 on the par 5.
Bennett has tapped in for his par to stay at 17 under. Colin Montgomery now has the chance to move to 18 under and into second place on his own. Changed his putter on the last day last week at Huntingdale, which made all the difference as far as holding putts were concerned. He hadn't held too many during the week, and then on the last day he held all that was required, and that was a good, bold, strong attacking putt. And frustration again for Colin Montgomery as he misses out. Just a par then for Montgomery once he taps that in, and he will stay in that tie, that 4-way tie for second place on 17 under, 4 off the lead.
He's got to be delighted with his form though on the first couple of weeks. We don't often see Monty play this time of the year, but he went to America, he worked out with his coach, and then he went to Australia and he's won down there. New set of clubs, performing well this week and staying in contention, and that's good news. Normally doesn't start his season until Dubai, so this is quite a change of tactics for Monty.
Safely down the fairway there. This is Mark Singh for his par at 16. Left hand below right for Mark Singh. So many players doing it now. Oh, just drifted away. Maybe caught a spike mark. Greens are much softer today than they were earlier in the week because of all the rain. So Mark Singh drops a shot. He's back on 14 under par. He's even par for the day.
So much more money for the Asian players this week to play for. It's almost triple their money, so bound to be feeling a little edgy. Always good to earn a big check on a Sunday afternoon. Mendoza brought up on his home course on grass very similar to the cow grass they're playing off here this week, and so he feels very at home on this type of grass, very at home on this golf course. So expect this one to go close. Fairway back though, 6-iron on his hand.
to the top of the hill all right, stay at the top of the hill, but not to the green.
Had it right on line.
Lundberg next to go. VJ Singh's way over to the left.
Looks to be trying to bring this in with a bit of draw, almost aiming at that right-hand bunker. I'd have thought the canny shot was centre the green and move it the other way.
Just a touch of wind there. Here's VJ. Well, I said he was in the trees. He was heading towards the trees, but didn't get as far as the trees. And at the end of the day, although he's in the rough, he's got a good line to the pin.
Well, he ducked down pretty quickly after that. I didn't think those overhanging branches were going to cause any problems, but did have to play a little punchy one with the wedge, and he's done it quite nicely.
Just a stroll now for no pressure on VJ Singh at all. A man who foiled Tiger Woods last year in his bid to win the Grand Slam. Bennett, sweet swinging Warren Bennett, but not a sweet result.
A few moments ago, and now Colin. Very smooth little work, just 137 yards on the hill, and the flag, you see, it doesn't give them much of a target when they go straight at it from there.
They don't give these Volkswagens away easily, do they?
Yes, the new Volkswagen B for the whole one. A little bit more sporty in its design, I think.
Let's go back down 18.
Get a pretty good view there, Renton, don't you? As we look back, how much those trees on the right of our screen, left as the players play the ball, come into play on 18. That really does mean that if you're anywhere centre of the fairway and to left half, you can get a strong draw if you want to try and get home in two. So the players that fade the ball, it's not a good hole. And certainly get up with a long iron. Harrington yesterday played away to the right and had just a little forward to the green, but we'll go back to 17.
Mark Singh, not all that many players. This is the fourth last attempt at an ace here. Just Singh, Manosa and Lundberg after this. Oh, that looked pretty good. That must have looked really good in the air for Mark Singh. Just 3 more to go before they drive that one back to the showroom. So many cars. You know, somebody told me there were 25,000 taxis in Singapore. What makes it most familiar is that when you want one in the evening, you can never get one. I've never seen a place where so many queues for taxis as Singapore. Manosa, 16, third shot. Well, that's a tester too.
Plays most of his golf on the Japanese circuit. Manosa won 5 times over there, 30 or mid-30s he finished on their money list last season. Frankie for a 2.
Just beginning, I think, to rain a little. But we've had no thunder. It would be an anticlimax if we had Vijay Singh coming up the 18th and then a halt in play for 2.5 hours. This is for par for Singh. This to stay 21 under, and this to stay 3 clear of the field. Still very much the favourite to take the title. Well hold. So 21 under, walking to the last, virtually assured, I would say, a victory here at the Singapore Island Country Club. We'll take a break. Well, the rain is coming down quite heavily now as we join Warren Bennett, who's had a good tee shot. Back on the tee, Vijay Singh. He's got to hang on until the players just ahead play, and he's looking up anxiously at the sky because if there is a stoppage, he doesn't want it to happen now. Stephen Dodd finished with a 71 for 12 under, Anthony Wall a 73 for 11 under, and Lin Ken Chi 71 for 13 under. Hong Chi Yu 69 for 13 under as Warren Bennett goes for the green in heavy rain.
And I really like the way this young fella plays. Bennett off to good long iron, drove it down the right half of the fairway to open up the second shot. And a little unlucky there not to be able to take the putter with that shot, have a go for the eagle, but an outside opportunity to perhaps chip it in.
Well, he's not worried about the rain because he's having one of his best weeks on tour. He is a former winner, of course, did win the Scottish PGA Championship at Glen Eagles. Now big Monty, can he get an eagle at the last?
I wonder if he's thinking back to that Faldo incident. Memories flooding back. He doesn't normally like to turn it right to left, and you need to on this 18th.
What do officials do when they know there's perhaps lightning around? They don't want to take any chances. They know the tournament is virtually on its last 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, but they still can't take chances with people's lives. There has been no thunder and lightning, just the heavy rain, but Colin Montgomery looking a bit anxious there as well. If they have to stop it, they'll stop it.
I'm pretty sure that there was a flash of lightning. That's why Monty was looking up there. And I can't believe that Vijay would want to play if there was a storm.
Mark Sanger still to go here as he's in behind the tree getting his waterproof out. I do remember once in Florence at the Italian Open, Bernard Langer and Ken Brown, who'll be with us next week incidentally in Dubai, joining Warren and I, and Sebi Ballesteros having a bit of a problem with lightning, and they played off eventually, but there was a bit of a gap, some very heavy rain. Singh on the last tee, desperate to get on, desperate to get in the clubhouse, desperate to pick up that first prize check.
Caddy moving away before Singh played the shot. Oh, and that's gone way to the left. May nearly be over to the 9th fairway. We saw Jerry Norquist over there in one of the earlier rounds, so no chance for him to get home from there. He does have a big cushion.
Well, he's still smiling. He knows that Colin Montgomery probably isn't on the green. He probably knows that, even though he's down on the first tee. Someone may well have told him. That's the situation at the present moment. 21 under. And we'll just have a look at a couple of pages while we wait for Colin Montgomery and Pride Mark Singh, who had in fact played his second shot, although he was putting on his waterproofs behind the tree, and Warren Bennett to get up on the green at 18 and finish off their rounds. If you come and play in the tropics at this time of year, you're going to get heavy rain. It's nearly the end of the monsoon period, but you know, we always knew there was going to be rain, and it was always a surprise to me that the planning of the event didn't make for an earlier finish than 5 o'clock in the circumstances. We'll take a break. Well, welcome back. The ball you see in the green there is the ball of Colin Montgomery. He's just played his third up to there, so he's got the chance of a birdie to finish on 19 under par. He's currently sharing second place on 18 under with the Dutchman Martin Lefebvre, so it's an important putt for him to hold. The rain is coming down quite heavily now. Next to go will be Warren Bennett, who hit 2 shots to where you see him just bottom right off the screen there underneath the Titleist umbrella. Bennett looking for, well, a chip in for 19 under. Right, Mark Singh is the third member of this particular group. That's that cow grass we were talking about, the broad-bladed grass that is a feature of this particular golf course, and which some of the Europeans have found difficult to master this week. Let's see what Warren Bennett can do here. He's currently 17 under. This for 3 at the par 5 last. Beautifully holed by Warren Bennett. What a good way to finish. 19 under par for Warren Bennett. A round of 68 today for the Englishman. And what a good week he has had. Warren Bennett then with rounds this week of 63, 69, 65 and a closing round of 68, finishing with that eagle for 19 under par. Now Colin Montgomery has to hold his birdie putt to finish 19 under. I can tell you that down the fairway, in fact on the other fairway, Vijay Singh is in play, but he cleared the hazard down there by 5 yards. There was very little space for him to avoid that hazard, but he did, and he has got a shot to the green of some description, or at least can come up the 9th fairway and then play on to the green. But at 19 under par in the clubhouse, Warren Bennett has just put a little bit of pressure on Vijay Singh, but Singh still at 21 under. This is Mark Singh. Locals, the Asians, keen for that one to go in, but not to be. This is Vijay Singh, second shot. Where did that one go now? Has it stayed? I think it's probably just in behind the sign. Bit of drama here at the end. Mark Singh, by the way, got his 5 for 70 and 15 under par. Colin Montgomery is now putting here at the 18th for a birdie to join Warren Bennett on 19 under. This for joint second spot. I thought that was going in or not, but certainly it didn't. So 68 for Colin Montgomery, and he finishes tied with Martin Lefebvre. Not enough birdies on the card, and certainly paying the penalty for that very slow start, 5-4. Montgomery rounds of 66, 67, 65 and 68 this week. He finished second in the Johnny Walker Classic back in 1993 to Nick Faldo. It looks as if he's going to finish third, equal this time to Vijay Singh in the Caltex Singapore Masters. Well, as the rain lashes down, Vijay Singh is making his way up, I think, the wrong fairway. Meanwhile, playing off for the correct fairway is Lundberg. Mendoza has already played up short of the green in 2. This is Lundberg. Nicely just on the green. Long putt for an eagle 2. I beg your pardon, eagle 3, the par 5. Been a good week for Mikael Lundberg. Vijay Singh coming up the wrong fairway. Mikael Lundberg, by the way, 27 years old, 32nd on the money list. He's already been 5th in the Mercedes-Benz South African Open down at East London. Been pro since 1993. That's all about Lundberg. This is Minoza, married with 4 daughters. 10 wins, the 3 of them in Japan. Didn't play enough events on the Asian Tour last year to get onto their order of merit. Still got over 200 yards to go after having been in trouble, as Vijay comes up to have a look at the shot that he'll have to play. He's still got a 2-shot cushion with his nearest rival, so he can afford to take a 6 at the par 5 last, Vijay Singh, and still win. Minoza, long 3rd shot for him at this 18th. So 2 more for a 5 and for a round of 72, which would leave him on 16 under par. You can't rush Vijay Singh. He looked to have rushed his tee shot just a little. Maybe that was why he sent it way left. There's his caddy for Chai. Just a little fellow, but someone that Vijay Singh certainly has praised this week. We heard us saying earlier, 9 wins for Vijay Singh in America. 2 in Nigeria, 3 in Malaysia, 1 in Morocco, 1 in the Ivory Coast, 1 in Zimbabwe, 2 in South Africa, 2 in Sweden, 1 in Italy, 2 in Spain, 1 in Germany, France, England, Taiwan, Korea. But he's never won in Singapore, although he may be just about ready to do so. Now he's getting a ruling here for some reason. Is he worried about the board that's in its way to the green? And where can he drop it? There are a couple of signs there. Nobody would have expected, of course, a player to be coming up the 9th when these signs were strategically placed for the cameras around the 18th green. There they are from the other direction. Carlsberg, whose officials here have been enjoying themselves. Rather less hectic for them this week than it was last week when they were the main sponsor in Malaysia. Just adding to the further drama of the situation as he tries to get relief. Although I would have thought that anything he was doing there, any shot he was playing from where he was on the fairway there, the 9th fairway, would have gone flying high over any hoardings that are at the top of the hill. It's not as if he's going to be bouncing a shot up there. However, he's right to examine all the possibilities. The ball can be dropped within 2 club lengths of where he got relief. If it's a penalty drop, you get 2 club lengths relief. If it's a free drop, as this is, it's a 1 club relief, but then the ball can roll within 2 club lengths. Well. Sadly, we can't just hear what he's saying, and what the conversation is all about. Meanwhile, his wife up by the green, Mrs. Singh, waits and wonders and hopes and expects her husband to take the title and that $141,000 first prize. Been a very, very lucrative 2 weeks for Vijay Singh on the Asian Davidoff Tour. Not playing in Dubai next week. There's a good field day for Dubai, headed of course by Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is there, Paul Lawrie, the former Open champion, Lee Westwood, Montgomery. Ian Woosnam appears on the scene for the first time. Mark McNulty, poised to finish #1 in South Africa this year, will be there. Darren Clark is in the field as well. Mark O'Meara, not surprisingly, chumming Tiger to Dubai. He's played there before, Mark O'Meara. And is VJ ready to play now? Well, they're pacing out all sorts of things here. As he tries to get complete relief from the signs. Well, I think he's got complete relief if he comes down to there. But I think he'll... Oh, what a drama. Just at the end. Well, I think they finally solved the problem. And in a moment or two, Vijay Singh will be ready to drop the ball back into play. He can prefer the lie if he wants to, because they are preferring their lies today. He may well do that, but the ball seems to be lying okay. But he has the option to prefer it if he wants. It may not have been the signs he was worried about. It may have been the pylon. I think the pylon with the floodlights on it that was worrying him. I didn't think the signs were too much of a problem, but you can see the strong high pole there. Beautifully played, and on the green in 3. So Vijay Singh has 3 putts to take the title. I think it was the pole with the floodlights on it that was causing the problem. Just in case he'd hit it, so he got relief from that, as he was entitled to do. And now he's got 3 putts, the luxury of 3 putts on the last green to take the title. I suspect he'll only take 2. He might even take 1. But poised to win the first of the Caltex Singapore Masters, the first of an initial 3 that will be played here over the next couple of seasons or so, is Vijay Singh. Disappointment for Minoza after his fine 61. The record for the course. Really did have hopes of perhaps a victory here. He's finished second twice in Singapore Opens here. Applause for Vijay Singh. We have escaped the thunder. We have escaped the lightning. We are going to get finished virtually on time. Just a reminder that this is Minoza. He's 16 under, so if he can pop this one in for a birdie, asking a lot though, isn't it? He'll join Anders Hansen and Roderick Harrington on 17 under. It's a big ask. But how close he came to giving the answer. Just a par then at the end for Frankie Minoza, which means that he finishes with a 72, and he finishes on 16 under par. Minoza with rounds of 64, 61 on day 2, which was a record for the course and a low record for the Asian PGA Tour, the Davidoff Tour. Then 71 yesterday, and today 72. Mikael Lundberg. This for an eagle 3. If he could get an eagle 3, he would move to 17 under. Got to hit it really quite hard up the hill. After the rain, the green will be even slower. And that was a good effort as well from Lundberg. He's enjoyed his week because he's had his best ever week. Comes from Helsingborg. He's been a pro since 1993. He was playing off scratch at 17. And as I said, I think in our opening, spent a year at a junior college in Alabama. Finished fourth on the European Challenge Tour last year to get his card. And has made a fast start to the season. 5th in the South African Open. And he's going to finish 7th or 8th here. 7th if he holds this. 7th equal with Minoza. Well holed. So 2 good finishes already this season for Mikael Lundberg from Helsingborg. So just 1 man left to finish, and it's the man who's going to pick up the trophy, the title, and that first prize check. No real pressure on Singh because he can 3-putt to take the title. He's 2 shots clear of his nearest rival, Warren Bennett. This then for victory. This for 22 under. Correction, this for 21 under because this is his 5th shot. 64, 63, 68, and a par now for another round of 68. Missed the fairway off the tee, came up the 9th, played his 3rd onto the green, putted up to here, and this for 5. We have a winner, Vijay Singh, for the 2nd week running on the Davidoff Tour, and for the first time this year on the European Tour is successful. He takes the Caltex Singapore Masters title by 2 shots. A closing round of 68, giving him a 21 under par total. 2 shots clear of Warren Bennett, 3 in front of 3rd placed Colin Montgomery and Martin Lefebvre.
And the players will come back immediately after they sign the score.
Well, the presentation coming up, and they'll do it pretty quickly, I think, since there's been some heavy rain. There's Mrs. Singh ready to congratulate her husband. We'll take a break. You know, can you tell me what the first prize last week was, because I wasn't there?
I'll keep talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
A week ago in Melbourne, Colin Montgomery scored his 30th victory of his career. And up at Kuala Lumpur, Vijay Singh scored his 29th. Well, this week he's joined Montgomery with his 30th victory. Presentation just about to happen. Jim Burnett, the corporate vice president of Caltex, will be up there with winner Vijay Singh, and Warren Humphries will be having a word with the winner as well, as we just once again check that leaderboard, with Singh taking his second title in 2 weeks with a 2 under par, with a 21 under par winning score. 19 under par, Warren Bennett, a great performance from him. Colin Montgomery collecting more Ryder Cup points, as did all the Europeans here this week. Patrick Harrington 17 under, but a penalty shot for him on 16 when his ball moved as he was about to hit his second shot. Harrington's not the luckiest of players on tour. Further on down the list, good performances from Clay Devers was on the first page with a 65 for America. Andrew Pitts also going well. He had a 66 today for America. And Tom Gillis finishing 14th at 12 under par. So Gillis starting off his season pretty well. Yang Yong-yoon from Korea up there at 12 under par. Further on down the list, Anthony Wall slipped away a bit today. He was hoping for a good final day, but it didn't quite work out for him. He had a 73. Not too many players over par today. He was one of them. Ted Purdy from the United States at 9 under. Further on down the list, oh, there's Eric Meeks from the United States, joined 38th. Mark Mullen, who was 4th a couple of weeks ago up at the London Myanmar event on the Davidoff Tour. Mark Mullen, who lost his card last year in Europe, but managed to get it back at the school at the end of last year. Look at all the various nationalities playing. Plenty of Americans, of course, regulars here on the Davidoff Tour, but Frenchmen, Australians, Irishmen, Koreans, English, Welsh, Scots, Germans, Swedes, Danes. Very, very international, the Davidoff Tour, and it was significant that of the qualifiers, slightly more European Tour players made the halfway cut than Asian Tour players. Muru, as he's known, from Singapore, finishing at 5 under par. Big Des Tab Blanche there. Saw him earlier today, wandering through the clubhouse. He plays on so many tours. Bunchu Ruangkit from Thailand on 5 under par, who had the privilege of hitting the very first ball in the very first tournament played on the Asian Tour back in 1995. Well, I think they're almost ready for the presentation. So with the rain easing, I think we'll go down to the 18th green and we'll join Warren Humphries.
Well, if last week was an exciting finish to the Malaysian Open, this one a much more emphatic victory for Vijay Singh, the man whose name means a victory. And here to present the cheque and the trophy is Mr. Joe Bennett, the Caltex corporate vice president.
$141,660 US for Vijay Singh. It's been a very, very lucrative 2 weeks. And the Waterford Crystal Trophy that goes with the prize. Very happy Vijay Singh, 2 weeks running. 3 extra holes.
Vijay, you said at the start of the day that if you came out and you played the par 5s well, then the tournament would take care of itself. It kind of worked out like that way, apart from the last.
Yeah, it was raining so hard in the last, you know, we couldn't really, it was actually hurting your back trying to stand over the ball because the rain was coming so hard. But, you know, I hit a decent, put a decent swing on it. I think there was so much water on the club face and the ball that it squatted left. but I got away with it. I had a gap to the left side and played it well. But I played decent today. I didn't make too many mistakes. I hit a lot of greens. If I did miss it, I got up and down. So I was quite happy with the way I played.
Now, it's your 10th European Tour win. You've won in 16 countries now. You're probably the most worldwide international travel golfer. Does that make winning easier?
I don't know. I don't really think about which country I'm going to play and if I'm going to win or not. I just go out there and try to play the best and try to win every time when I play. Fortunately, I've played golf courses where I've played before here and more familiar people, and that was easier for me to play here and win.
Is this a very special place for you to come and win because of your wife Ardina here?
Yeah, she's from Malaysia. She's born just across the border, and it was a great week last week and even better one this week. So to make it 2 in a row over here, I think you can ask for more.
Thanks to all to the winner. The man who admired to Fiji. But no, that was then for VJ winning 2 occasion. Warren Bennett and under Colin Montgomery. Thoughts about this is to complete. Father, whether he can buy next. There, going to do well. Goodbye.